And welcome back, everybody, to video number 2. Now, I'm just going to ask you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that, to help me with my algorithm issues that we all know that I'm having. And don't forget, because I don't want to keep reminding you, to go down into the description box where you'll find all kinds of links. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. In the meantime, let's jump in and cover this. Let's go. This is going to be really good. Now, we know that Meghan's popularity in the United States is circling the drain, and in the UK, it's really low. They apparently just did a YouGov poll that showed that only 4% of people in Britain have positive feelings towards her. And in the meantime, we know that American Riviera Orchard is not making an impression. Her Instagram numbers are going backwards because she hasn't sold anything. And I think what really happened was she released American Riviera Orchard in a rush because she was trying to overshadow the Diana Awards. She should not have released it at that time. So, of course, Meghan, being who she is, will not accept the fact that her fall in popularity has come about naturally. She's claiming that the reason her popularity is falling is because of David and Victoria Beckham, because their Netflix docuseries has totally blown Harry and Meghan's out of the water. What's being said is that Meghan is literally all over the place because we already know how she operates. She's just scattered. And then if anything goes wrong, she blames it on anybody else that she can think of. To validate the theory, she has to have been sabotaged. That's really what it is. So they're really trying to raise their popularity, which is why Harry and Meghan hired some PR people in the UK as well as in the United States. But to be fair, it's not going to help. As long as she pulls crap like what she did, we just covered with the jam, as long as she's pulling stuff like that, her popularity is not going to get better. We know that Victoria and David have been friends with the royal family for a long, long time. We know that David was friends with William and Harry. They bonded over their shared love of sport. They went to both weddings, but we know that David and Victoria only went to the morning part of Harry and Meghan's wedding, not the afternoon part. Now, we know that Meghan has separated Harry from all of his friends. In this particular case, Meghan accused Victoria, a woman who's never had any issues with keeping her own privacy. She accused Victoria of leaking stories to the press. Harry called David. There was a huge fight. We know that David flew halfway around the world to the Invictus Games, and then Harry refused to see him. It just got worse. Then, of course, what was she expecting? I don't know. Harry and Meghan were left off the guest list of Brooklyn Beckham's wedding to Nicola Peltz in May of 2022. There were other famous friends there, Spice Girls, Eva Longoria, Serena and Venus Williams. They were all there. But, of course, Harry and Meghan were not. One of the things that's really biting at Meghan is the fact that David Beckham was just named, as I've told you in a previous video, as an ambassador for the King's Foundation and is more than likely going to receive a knighthood. It's also not going down well because David went and saw King Charles in the UK last month at the same time that Harry put out that statement that his father couldn't see him, and come to find out it was a lie. He could have seen him. It was Harry that didn't want to see the king. Misinformation put out by the king of no misinformation. So for Meghan to hear about the ratings for Netflix at the same time it was announced that David became an ambassador, this is really upsetting Meghan because now there's absolutely no denying which side David and Victoria are on. They're not even trying to hide it. And Meghan wanted to make up with them. She's apparently been a big fan of Posh since the Spice Girl days, and it's being reported that the first time she was ever in a room with Victoria, she was so starstruck she practically shouted with excitement. Now, the other thing that's being reported is that David and Victoria are flexing their muscles in the entertainment world, which is really upsetting Meghan because she's getting beaten out in her own territory in America by the Beckhams, who happen to be British. So that's just adding insult to injury. Now, this was not done intentionally to get one over on Meghan and Harry. They just happen to be at the top of the pile now. But of course, to Meghan, they're being smug because they won't allow Meghan to make up to them. Listen, These people know Meghan. They see who Meghan is. And Meghan is convinced that these same people are pulling strings against them. But it's this line of thinking that's not helping her or Harry in the long run. Meghan's friends are saying that she should be putting her energy into developing relationships on her home turf and not worrying about what's going on with them, but it's just not happening. So, of course, Meghan, according to Neil Sean in his new video, is extremely excited about a new book that Tom Bower did about the Beckhams. Now, in case you guys have forgotten, Tom Bower did the revenge book, and Harry and Meghan never sued him because you can't sue for what's true. Because according to Neil Sean, this new book brings out mean things that David Beckham has said about other people and his tax issues, etc., etc. And she's hoping that that negatively affects them. Can you believe that? Because I can. By the way, in case you were unaware, apparently in this book, they're discussing what happened between Harry and Meghan and the Beckhams. Now, at the same time, we know that Gwyneth Paltrow, who has Goop, she's like a billionaire from Goop, and she wants nothing to do with Meghan, and Oprah lately has had nothing to do with Meghan either. And so, was anybody surprised when Gwyneth Paltrow put up a message to Catherine that immediately was picked up? No, nobody was shocked. Gwyneth Paltrow is a very nice woman, and she made a comment on social media for Trooping the Color, and here's what she put. So happy to see you looking so happy and well. I think that speaks volumes. And I told you guys in a previous video that Gwyneth recently had a get-together, and she brought in the head of Netflix and Oprah, and all of Meghan's friends were there, but no Meghan Markle. Of course, Meghan's never invited to any of the A-lister events. None of them. She is literally losing her friends, what little bit of friends that she has right and left, because it's all about the power in Hollywood. Really is. There is nothing and nobody at this point who wants to be associated with them. Notice, they're never at the Oscars, they're never at the Emmys, they're never at any of the A-list parties. They're on the outs. You know, when I think back on the fact that the Beckhams gave Meghan a house to stay in to get away, that Victoria shared her hairstylist, I mean, all the help she gave her, and Meghan basically threw it back in her face. And now you know Meghan's going, oh my God, I made a huge mistake. Anyway, you're going to want to follow me over to video number 3. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's go.